her responsibility was to handle like the production of it, because that's obviously that she's in that world. She's done it before. My job was to handle like the operational administrative stuff, because that's what I do. So it was like social media, YouTube, all that stuff. I had secured everything. But what I had noticed was when she like went and started her own email. So I'm like, okay, is this like,
The
I don't
Menopod
want,
email?
yeah, just like I created an email, but then she started using a different email address. So in my mind, I'm like, what are you doing? Like, I don't want to look sideways. I would give people the benefit of the doubt. And when I
But you
talked
knew
to
it was shady.
I felt like it was, but again, I give people the benefit of the doubt. But I was just like intuitively feeling like she wasn't being transparent with everything.
And that was in the beginning stages of the podcast, prior to you guys filming or during?
No, that was before we filmed. And then when I saw the one pager, that was when it said the Menopod with Melyssa Ford. And I was like, hold up. Like, there was no mention of my name or my friend. And we were the ones that we're the experts. Like, I have a master's degree in nutrition. My other girlfriend, she's in Pilates. She's been doing that for like 25 years. So, and Melyssa would bring like, I guess she wanted to bring a psychology component of it into it. But from what I know, I don't believe that she's educated in psychology. She just reads a lot.
That's I was gonna say, from what background, I wasn't sure.
Did you guys ever discuss the splits of anything? Was it something along the lines of this person would make that, this person would make this, or did you even get that far?
Yeah, we got that far. I mean, I said, for me, it's not important who gets credit for this. I don't care. But on paper, we're equal, 33 and a third. Because it's not important to me to say, oh, I came up with this idea and I came up with the name. I don't care about that. But on paper, you know, and then I brought my other friend into it, who's like, she's not into social media. She's not into any of this. And so I felt badly because of the experience that we were kind of having. But she said, you know, don't stress about it. Don't let it bother you. Ultimately, if she's doing something shady, she can't go anywhere. She can't use she can't use anything. So, you know, because earlier before that, I wanted to trademark it, like, but then I'm thinking, I don't want to be shady on my end if I don't really know what this person is doing. I'm going to give them the benefit.
But you were going to try to secure the namesake because it's yours.
I own all the URLs. I mean, I purchased all the URLs and everything. I'm not stupid. So I just think that in that situation, Melyssa underestimated my level of intelligence and my ability to discern intuitively someone's behavior. You know, like when you're hyper focused on, you know, it's like she wants something so badly to be hers, which I don't fault her for that. That's fine. But like, you're stepping on other people to get to the top. Like, that's not cool. And maybe you don't really know me that well, and you definitely don't know my friend that well. But if you're going to try to like insult my intelligence by not telling the whole story.
The tossed Menopod launched. You found out about it on social media the same way I did. Was that the straw that broke the camel's hump? Like, wait a minute, what is this? You're like, it felt like she just kind of
announced it. I didn't know she was going to announce it on JBP. But we had discussed a 10/1 launch date. So that's why it was like the end of August and September we were filming, and I went to New York, you know, probably like 4 times just for that. And I don't know why she did that, because at that point
you were traveling. I'm sorry to cut you off. You were traveling from LA to New York. Wow. So you said you came 4 times. Was that on your own dollar?
Yep.
I was just making sure she wasn't paying for transportation, lodging, all of those things.
No,
you came on your own accord.
It should have been incorporated into the production cost, of which
absolutely
she didn't pay. She had spent money, and I'm like, well, where are the receipts? Like, what did you spend? Where's the deck? Like, I know how to make a deck. I know how to make a 1-pager.
You make that on Canva in like 5 minutes.
Yeah. Right. So it was just like questions. My questions were not like, it took a while to get the deck. And that's when I was like, okay, something is going on. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to beef about it, because if we're filming and you're paying for all this, okay, fine. There's nothing that we had signed. We had signed nothing. So if you're going to go out in the world and be mad and say you paid for, that's your fault. You didn't have anybody sign anything. I brought up the fact that we should sign something early on, like very
at bare
early.
minimum, consult with the group.
Yeah. Or have like some type of like, just some type of document stating something that we're all in agreement. And that was handled. And, you know, it's just, you can tell when someone is just bullying you.
Yeah, I think one of the key points of this is you guys actually recorded like 5 episodes.
I think it
right?
was 4 or 5. There was one that I was not in.
Mm.
Um, I wasn't there. So that was another thing that, say it was like a Monday where they filmed an episode at the V spot in the city, and she hit up my friend that was also involved. And so she went like last minute and they filmed together. And then they told me about it the following day. And I was like, wait, what?
Mm.
You guys filmed an episode? Okay. All right.
Hmm.
Mm-mm.
Um,
So, Danny was asking, let's
Wait,
get
she
to the
filmed
nitty
without
gritty.
you?
How dare she?
Oh, that's weird. Yeah.
So, but how did you feel while you were recording? What was the chemistry like? Did you feel like she was trying to be more than a 33 and a third? How did it feel?
Melyssa definitely was the dominant personality. She was the moderator, and that's fine. My friend
Mhm.
Tanya had no experience. She's never been on anything, and she's very, like, I guess, not soft spoken, but she's very, like, reserved is a better word. So it's
Mm.
just kind of like we're
Mhm.
sitting there, and then it's like, in one interview, we have questions because we had a guest. We shared our questions.
Who was
And
the guest?
She was a doctor. I forgot her name, but
Okay.
she was like a doctor,
Who booked the guest?
Melyssa.
So it seemed
And
like Melyssa was doing a lot of the admin work in terms of the studio. Like,
she
did
was
she
handling the
book the
production. Like she
Okay.
handled the booking the studio, and it was like, I didn't know she had like a production company or whatever. So when we showed up and I saw on the screen, I
She
was
has a
like, what is
production company.
Yeah, it's called like iGasm or something like that.
That's hate.
Of course it is. Of course it is.
That's kind of not bad though. Okay. So eventually you have all these episodes, which I know as someone who's booked these studios, it's like $600, $500. So she's probably spent like 3,000 or something, like some crazy amount.
We don't know if she paid. Somebody else could have
Right. She
paid.
could have favors, right? Could have been sponsorship.
Somebody else could
Could have
have.
been
If
a
she
trick.
provided the location,
What I speculate is that there was somebody paying for something. I'm not sure who it was. I don't believe it was Melyssa. Maybe that's why after it fell apart, she had to like create something. Like there was a product that needed to be served. So then she changed it to Hot and Bothered. I don't know because it was never discussed. When she gave us a contract and I read it, I sent a chat to the group saying, I'm not really sure like what I said for you to believe that I would be okay with this. But it was basically like, number one, podcasts don't monetize like that really in the first place. But at the end of the
Right.
day, we all are equal partners, whatever comes out of that. That was what I said in the beginning after I saw the one pager where it had no mention of myself or my friend, which was irritating, right?
Right.
And so then you continue to I give her the benefit of the doubt. Then, we film, we have a photo shoot. I don't know who paid for that. I never saw any document. I asked. My friend even offered to give her money. She didn't
Right.
want to take it. So,
Mhm.
I don't really know her intention or her thought process and everything.
You can come up with a hypothesis of sorts and gauge
Yeah,
that.
I just think that maybe that there was something that she was trying to do that was a little shady. I don't really know what it was. Yeah, and so then when I saw how she was behaving, then I filed a trademark because I was trying to protect my idea and I was being a little bit petty. But
Is it currently trademarked?
yeah, well I think it takes like 8 months, but it's in the process,
I like it.
And
I like it a lot.
for Hot and Bothered, when she took that name and went online and was saying that, she didn't care that these kids were using it and that she was going to use it anyway, and she's Melyssa Ford. I talked to them and they were just like, why is she doing this? I know she filed a trademark similar, probably because she saw what I did. And then they got an attorney and they filed a trademark. So I'm not really sure what's going to come out of that because they've been using that name. It could be a problem in the future. Like if they get the trademark and she's using it, then that would be a problem.
And it's on record that she knew. So overall, once you guys filmed the podcast, did you feel good? Like when you would leave the studio, would you say, damn, that's fly. This is what I want to do. This has synergy, energy between us. Like this was dope. Did you feel good about it? Or did you feel like,
I think the first episode, I felt like kind of bulldozed because when you're in a dynamic, if you're an aware person, Melyssa has a
Mhm.
very dominant personality. I can too, but in that dynamic, I chose to let her be the dominant one. There's no point in us both
Mhm.
trying to like be
Yeah,
like
yeah,
this, right?
yeah. Yeah.
So when we first filmed, it was just like she basically talked like the entire time. And so the next time we filmed, I think that was when we interviewed someone and we shared our questions. And then we're interviewing, and then she took my questions. I was like, in my head, I'm like, what the? Why would you take my question? You have your own questions. So, I ended up asking the doctor another question, but it was just like, what? It was the whole thing was just like how they say hurt people, right? So maybe in this situation, it's like however she might feel like she gets treated at JBP, maybe
The vicious cycle. We've seen it
maybe
over and
that's
over
what,
again.
yeah, it was like that's how, and I was just having
But
fun.
also, do you feel because you're so peaceful and chill, do you think you were targeted because she knew you wasn't gonna whoop her ass?
I think that she doesn't know me
'Cause I
well
think
enough.
certain stunts you pull on certain people, and I don't think that that's normal on how she went about handling your situation, knowing that you were flying in, spending your own money on travel, lodging, coming up with concepts, like, it was dirty. I know that you're trying to be as politically correct as possible or give her as much grace as you can, but that was foul.
Yeah,
It was
it
straight
was.
up a con.
It was, and I was very upset when it first happened. But,
Mhm.
time passes and you realize, like, why would I even give her the energy?
So now with time even passing, your name has been brought up on the JBP several times, and Danny, let me know if I'm over talking you. Am I
No, you're
Melyssa
right.
Fording you?
No, no, yeah.
Shades.
Uh,
Look at shades from me.
There's a lot of shade.
Yeah.
Wacky. I have to protect myself.
Hold on here.
All right. So yeah, go ahead. No, talk away. I mean,
So
we know about
now your name has been brought up on the Joe Budden podcast several times in a pretty disparaging way. I think they had some behind the scenes conversation where she said some
Oh,
shady
yeah,
shit about
she called
called
him
me
Danny.
thirsty.
thirsty.
She called you of all people
Oh, she
thirsty.
got to look away.
Yeah,
Take a pause
I'm
for the cause.
thirsty. Um,
Yeah.
Right.
yeah, I don't really watch it. People always tell me when my name is mentioned, or I can tell if I get followers or something like, oh, they must have mentioned my name on there. I don't really know why
The
they
infamous thirsty ass.
Yeah, I'm not sure
Rolling
why
eyes.
she chose to say that. I don't know. But at that point I'm just like, okay, fine. Like now I've had enough and I wanted to say something without actually saying something. Like maybe it will give her pause and she will actually think about what comes out of her mouth because at the end of the day it's like you're a black woman, I'm a black woman. We already have enough shit going on in the country and our culture. Like it's like we're constantly breaking each other down when we shouldn't be doing that. I think she said something like, "Oh, it doesn't matter if you have a master's degree, you don't know how to pot." Some just like shots
You
fired.
had a pod.
Yeah, like okay, if you think that podcasting is hard, then maybe you should figure something else out because really, I don't. You just talk. It's what you
And
have. Like
seemingly it's hard, it's difficult for her, but it wasn't for you. And that again, that's the crux of the problem as far as I can
I
tell.
have a question. As far as whenever Melyssa Ford talks about you, the rest of the cast is so quiet. Like they don't want to ever even broach it. Like they seem like they have the utmost respect for you. So it almost seems like you still have relationships with most members of the cast. To me, that's how it looks.
I mean, I don't talk to them outside of that, but I know like in being there, like they're all cool with me. My intention was to be genuine when I was there. It
So
wasn't.
there isn't a friendship with you and Ish outside of the pod, the JBP pod?
Ish and I have talked about like merch because we both have brands, but we're not, like
Okay. Like
how
a
they create
collaboration.
this like narrative about I have like a crush on Ish. Like Ish is in a relationship and
I
that
haven't heard that. You've heard that before?
Yes, I mean there was the
Oh.
infamous moment I think that lives in JBP lore where you said who is Ish taking when he said he was going to France or something,
because I said
and
I'm attracted to men. Like somebody said, what kind of guys or something like, and I said, oh, because my ex boyfriend looks just like Ish. Like they look very similar. One of my ex
Okay.
boyfriends. But that doesn't mean I don't find other men attractive. Like I love beautiful people, but
Do
they kind
you
of took
think
it
Ish is
and made it.
beautiful? Just for the record?
he just said that.
Did she say what?
It sounded like you said it's beautiful. Keep
They
it.
said, what
It's
kind of guys do you
okay.
like? What kind of guys do you like?
It's just beautiful.
But did
That's your speed.
did you feel any type of way when she said, when Melyssa Ford said, Ish is taking his girlfriend? Because everybody played that clip and they thought Melyssa Ford was shading you when she said that. When you had said, who you taking to France? And then Melyssa
Oh, I
Ford
said, well,
chimes
who are
in.
you going with? And she was like,
Yeah,
his girlfriend.
yeah.
I didn't
Oh,
think.
damn. Well, can Ish answer?
I,
Blocking?
yeah, I didn't think about. I think that's what they're saying, like she was blocking, or but I didn't think
Yeah.
about it until after
I
people
mean, did you
started.
pose the question to Ish or did you ask her?
No, I didn't bring it
Yeah.
up.
Ish. She asked
Yeah,
him.
you asked Ish.
Yeah, because
No,
he
Ish.
said he's going to the south of France, and I was like, oh, who are you going with? Like, it was just a
Right.
conversation.
And then she jumped in, his girlfriend. Oh, okay. She's one of
Yeah.
those friends.
I mean, it
So
looked like shade to me.
I mean,
Well, all things
uh-huh,
have come to an end. The
uh-huh.
Menopod is no longer.
Yeah, now it's hot and bothered.
It's Hot and Bothered, who recently won a Gracie,
Gracie.
a
What is
Gracie
that?
Award.
Yeah, but
What's it?
It's the award that no one has ever heard of, but apparently on the JBP, it's a highly acclaimed award for having 10 episodes with little to no viewership. And so
I don't know. Maybe I don't know if she has viewership.
I don't know what the
think so.
criteria was.
you gonna
We
get
did do the
nominated.
research, right? Because people were tossing it out there as if it had some kind of weight in the industry. I've never heard of it either. But apparently it's been around for 50 years. Seemingly you can go up there, shake hands, kiss babies, and get an award for a very low traction series of a podcast.
I've
And
seen.
so they're
I haven't checked it out.
I've seen a couple episodes. You never seen it? You haven't seen it? I've seen a few episodes. It's hit or miss. I think it's weighty and interesting. I think
wait, those are the N words of Mark Lamont Hill, her savior.
I think there's certain pods that are good and there's certain pods that are like, why are you doing this? But it's certainly different from the pod she was making with you that was about women's health. I think she's still trying to find the perfect marriage between the vixen and the woman's health, because the vixen thing is going to get the clicks, but the woman's health, I think she believes, will help her attain a certain type of perception of the people. So it seems like the legacy of what you created with her still lives on, but she's trying to find the balance. And now she's interviewing video vixens, Angie Martinez, and whatnot.
Oh,
Did that episode ever come out?
It's coming out soon, I think. I don't know.
what you said? Video vixens with Martinez?
No, video vixens and Angie Martinez. So she interviewed, I forgot her name, and somebody else, and then she interviewed Angie Martinez, and that's coming out soon. But I mean,
It seems like
I
the
did-
premise of the podcast has changed completely.
Yeah.
I did videos, but I don't consider myself to be a vixen.
What video did you do? Care to share?
Wake it up.
Give it up. Give it up.
Don't be shy.
You know what's
Exclusive.
funny is I saw like, I don't know if it was the Shade Room or somebody posted, and it was like the top video chicks, like, and there was one with Melyssa on the Jay-Z. It was like a boat. They were on a boat, and then it showed
Big
Corinne.
Vivian.
Yeah, so it was Corinne Steffens in the exhibit video, right? And then I saw myself, and I was like, oh shit. But like
In the exhibit video, which one was that?
it was, what is the name of the song? I don't know the name of the song, but it was
Well,
Corinne.
that just goes to show how much weight actual video work has as a measure in these days. So
I mean, not that you respect video vixens. I mean, do you see video vixens with the esteem that I think a lot of the vixens, like Melyssa Ford's always talking about the impact, but it seems like you were a vixen and you don't even care. Like you stepped away
for
from
me,
it.
it was like at the time, my mom had passed away, and I looked at it like this: like
condolences.
thank you. We're like in LA, you're like a pretty girl, you're hanging out, you're going to parties, there's the athletes and all this shit. But like really, like at the end of the day, what are you bringing to the table? If you expect to marry this person in this position, what are you going to bring to the table? Because you're an asset, right? So when my mom died, it forced me to look at my life and the things that I was involved in, and was saying, how can I contribute if I do in fact want to marry my boyfriend that's a basketball player? What am I going to do? So I decided to go to school and invest in myself. And that, like, I'm not a person, like, being in a video, it was never very comfortable for me to be in front of a camera. I'm a very shy person, especially some of the things that they put you in. Matter of fact, the video that I was in with Superhead, they kicked me off of the set because the director, I wasn't
You didn't have enough
like
motion in the ocean.
wasn't touching myself enough. It was very uncomfortable. And every time I did do a video, I always had like a character, like, you know, like
Right.
I was a cheerleader or a police officer or something like
So
that.
you were
And
always a featured look
yeah, I mean,
in the video.
I did extra work too, but it was just like, say I was in school, I'm on video set studying like organic chemistry. You know what I mean? Like it
Oh,
was
that's
just
hard.
like,
That's hard class.
Fire.
Yeah.
or like if I'm shooting a video, I'm hiding from the AD because I don't like, you still get paid. I don't want to be on set. I would hide and they would have to come try to find me. But like
You're
to
fired.
putting so much emphasis on something that's like at the end of the day doesn't really matter. Not to say being a video vixen, it's not easy to be that comfortable and confident in front of a camera. But like,
Yeah.
how are you contributing? Like, there's little girls watching this. How are you making an impression on them? So it's like in my mind, when my mom died, it forced me to look at my life and say, what am I doing? Who's
Yeah.
going to take
Yeah.
me? I don't marry
Yeah.
that basketball player. So I went to college. And that's, you know, that's just how I look at it. And I don't want to diminish what they do, but what else do you do?
And
You
what
know?
else?
With that
Because
said,
if you
I
have
mean,
a platform like that, what else do you do? How else can you contribute? Maybe you can talk
Right.
about, oh, this is what I do, but at the end of the day, like all these little girls are looking up to you. Let them know, like, this is just something I do for fun. You know, like that's how I think that you can utilize that platform. If you're going to emphasize, I'm a video vixen, like, what does that really mean?
Okay.
You know,
Or at least lock in the athlete. Show them that you hit your goal at some point in time, for the love of God. Back to you, Danny.
I was gonna say, with that said, as we're about to wrap up, and I want you to kind of plug because I know you have a clothing brand, and you also have a business. But I would be remiss if I didn't say this. Go back and watch that episode you did on Patreon. I really feel like you see kind of like, to me, her uncomfortability with you being like the centered person, and also Flip kind of going to you. And at one point, there's a point in the pod where Flip says, "All right, Melyssa, you ain't answering. S, what do you think?" And that happened a lot during that episode. And I think the tension there is when I believe it started to go astray. But I still want to ask, when is Menopod coming anytime soon? In terms of, because you said you got the copyright and it takes a while. Are you going to launch that?
I'm not sure if I'm going to do a podcast solely on menopause. I think I work better like in a group setting. So me doing something on my own. I'm just working on the back end on like building up my nutrition and my health and wellness platform. So what I plan on doing is, you know, like doing stuff in the community here in the Crenshaw area, having like, you know, seminars that people can come to where they get information about nutrition, health and wellness, answer their questions, you know, and also build up my clientele base. I have my brand, which actually came out of me going on JBP. So like, I'm so grateful for that, because before
Nice.
that, I was just making shit for myself. And when I went on, I was forced to launch a website because I had so many people hitting me up wanting to buy my stuff. So that's like, that was amazing for me. It was huge. And I'm very
Right.
thankful for that. So, you know, but that's what I've been working
Well, tell the people how to reach you and how to get your merch. That'll be super dope.
My
If you
website
want them to
is
reach you.
www.bugie.co. On my Instagram, I am S White.
Well, thank you for joining us on
Yes.
Danny's pod, which I've overspoke him like
No,
Melyssa
it's
Ford did
fine,
you,
man.
unfortunately.
Danny Ford.
We stay out of women's business.
I'm a nerdy vixen. All right.
I'm a nerdy vixen.
Thank you for coming through us.
Thank you,
Yeah,
S.
thanks for
It was a
having me.
pleasure.
All right.